Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
It is 7:38, 80 degrees, heat index already up to 85. 40% chance of rain in the forecast today. High of 93. A full look at the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. For NewsTalk 96.5 KPEL, I'm Ian Ozan. Broussard's new police chief is officially in office. Vance Olivier took his oath on Monday, and he says he's ready to get to work.
It's something that you always work for, that's always a thought of mine from working for the police department. Maybe one day having this opportunity, and when the opportunity came, it was like really exciting for me.
Chief Vance Olivier says he'll spend the coming days getting acclimated to his new department. The former Lafayette police sergeant says he wants to open a line of communication with his officers and the residents of Broussard. That, he says, will lead to a much larger goal.
Getting the department back on the right track and make sure that open up to the guys and open up to the administration and have an open dialogue with that. We never had that before in the job that I came with before. So open up to the council, see what their needs are, and also the citizens of Broussard want to know what they need and what they expect of the police department, and provide them with, like I always said, professional police services. That's what we're supposed to do. We work for the community.
Mayor Ray Bork says Olivier's experience as both an officer and as an administrator and leader within the Lafayette Police Department stood out during the interview process.
We have a lot of confidence in Vance, our choice as interim chief of police. It's a good day to be moving forward, to give our police department a new leader so we can start focusing on police business.
That experience will allow Olivier to tap into resources that, he says, will make the department more efficient.
More proactive. We got a lot of resources from the outside we want to bring in, meaning like the sheriff's office have their detectives. In a town like Broussard, they don't have some of the resources that are available, but we're going to rely on the sheriff's office and all the surrounding agencies to provide us with the best resources so we can provide with the best police services for the citizens of Broussard. They deserve it.
And joining us on the phone right now, the new chief of police of the city of Broussard, Vance Olivier. Chief Olivier, thank you for spending time with us this morning.
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
So how was day one?
It was a little hectic, just trying to get everything squared away and wrap my brains around the organization and meeting with the guys. And it was a pretty hectic day for the most part.
Now, in terms of those meetings and getting to know your officers, how is that process going? What's been the reception you've received from them?
Well, it's been pretty good, with all the things that went on yesterday with the swearing in and just trying to do administrative work. I'm going to meet the first time with both patrol shifts this afternoon, and I just want to, let them know, introduce myself to them, and let them know that, hey, I'm there for them, and we support them, and we're going to move forward and hopefully make things better for those guys and more efficient for them. I think that's what they're kind of looking for.
You mentioned yesterday was hectic with the swearing-in ceremony. One of the things I noticed is that you have a ton of support from the other law enforcement agencies here in Acadiana. Lafayette Police represented. Youngsville Police was represented. Dussault Police, Chief Kip Judice was there. Sheriff's Office was there. You had a ton of law enforcement backing you. What does it mean to have their support?
It means so much. The great thing is I worked with I worked with all the chiefs, actually, at some point or another, whether it was with the city police or with the sheriff's office. And you become a tight-knit group of guys, and, you got to depend on each other, especially in this position as the chief. I'm learning, you need to rely on all the other agencies, I should say, the city police as well. Gave me a great opportunity. We have great guys that worked over there, great guys at the sheriff's office, and the surrounding chiefs. You can't ask for better. I can tell you that, working with all of them.
Now, after the swearing-in ceremony, you got straight to work. What are some of the concerns that you've heard from members of your force, members from the community that met with you yesterday?
Well, I think the biggest concern is they want to make sure that Broussard remains crime-free. It's and that's what we're going to work on is want to get the message out to our patrol guys and all the officers. And we got to be proactive, and we can't let crime happen then react to it. I want to be proactive. I want to be on top of it. I want to continue. They do a fantastic job with patrolling the neighborhoods. Prior to me being named as interim chief, living in Broussard, those guys patrol the neighborhood. You see the patrol cars all the time. That's big. You need to be in the neighborhoods. Because that's the only way you can deter crime is being proactive, and that's a great thing.
Now, Broussard is a growing city. How do you take that into consideration when trying to be proactive? What kind of game plan do you have for a city that's that's not just a bigger city in terms of South Louisiana, but a city that's continually growing.
Well, I think you got to grow the force with the city, and if the city grows, we need to put more officers on the street. Like I said, you got to be proactive, and you got to make sure that whatever you do is make sure that the criminals understand that, hey, when you come to Broussard, there's no slack. We're not gonna let that happen. You do something over here, we're going to take action immediately, and we'll try to get you prosecuted to the fullest. And we don't want that kind of crime in the city of Broussard because it's too great of a community.
You mentioned discussing or working with other law enforcement agencies in the parish to use resources, to share resources. Have those discussions begun?
Matter of fact, just this morning, I'm in correspondence with the sheriff's office on trying to get some audits done that we need to have done, and it's just a kind of a normal thing when chief takes place. You want to do some auditing, get an outside agency just to come in, be the mediator per se. So we're already in the process of doing that, and whatever resources available that we need, the sheriff's office has reached out to me graciously and said if there's anything we could do for you, feel free to call. So second day, we get our feet wet a little more today and see what happens.
There's a year and a half left on this current term. What do you hope to accomplish in that next year and a half?
I just hope to become sound police chief for this community to make sure that we keep doing what we're doing and keep this community safe and show them that, this is a great department, and it's always been a great department. We got great people that work for us. So I just want to make sure that we continue doing what we're doing. I think there's some changes that need to be made, but for the most part, those guys were doing a fantastic job, did a great job in doing their work, and I really appreciate that. When
you say changes, major changes, minor changes, what are we looking at?
We're just talking about so probably like in the beginning, what I need to do is evaluate the staff. I don't want to just come in there and start turning the world upside down. You don't do that. That's not. You got to lead by example. So what I want to do is go in there and I want to start seeing, the process, how it works, how their department works. Because I come from a larger agency, we did things a little different. So if I come over here or coming over here, I just want to make sure that I understand the full workings of the department. What are the needs of the officers to make them, better environment for them to work in and to make more efficient. So that's what I'm taking a look at right now. And on the second day, we can evaluate it even more, Ian.
I know there are a lot of people who have been behind you, who were there yesterday, and on Facebook you thank them. I want to give you the opportunity now to say what you want to the people of Broussard, to those who've supported you in this process. Floor is yours, sir.
Well, I have to say, first of all, I'm very humbled, and I'm proud to have the opportunity to serve the citizens of Broussard as their interim police chief, and hopefully in the future to be their police chief for a long time coming. I guess you can't even imagine, with all the support that I had, how graciously I appreciate everything, and how it means a lot. You don't know what kind of impact you have on people until something like this happens, and then you have all these backers, and it's humbling, I tell you that.
It certainly is. And if people want to get in touch with you, if people want to get in touch with the Broussard Police Department, how can they do it?
Just call the Broussard Police Department at the number. I'm kind of laughing because I hadn't even learned the number for the most part, the whole number. So I had a lot to do, and I really, just get administrative getting in. But call the main number, the Broussard Police Department. I'd be more than happy to sit down and talk with you. We schedule an appointment. I'd love to sit down and talk, see what the issues that we're having in Broussard, and try to work to make it a better place.
Absolutely. We'll give you a pass. You've not even been on the job for 24 hours, so it's okay if you don't know that number just yet.
Thank you, and I sure do appreciate that.
Hey, my pleasure, Vance. Thank you for joining us. Best of luck, and if ever you need anything, call on us. You know where to find us.
Same here. Great to hear from you. Take care.
Pleasure's all mine. Take care, Vance.
You bet. Bye, brother. Bye-bye.
Vance Olivier, former sergeant, and Vance and I know each other, or have known each other for a while, because he was for the longest time the public information officer for the Lafayette Police Department. And yesterday he mentioned that one of the items that he would like to change or like to bring to the department is being more open with the media. And that's not to say the previous administration wasn't, because in terms of local police agencies, Broussard PD always has been one of the ones that's been good about dealing with the media calling back. But Vance, as a public information officer, certainly knows the importance of dealing with those of us in the news business, and he'll maintain that level of of a working relationship, if not heighten it. So for that reason alone, selfishly, I'm happy that he's the new interim police chief, and I'm happy to see and excited to see what he'll do in the city of Broussard.
Sounds like good things are going to be happening in Broussard because of it.
Oh, yes, indeed. It's 7:47.